Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show.
Well, we're starting part 2 today, and we spent at least 20 minutes trying to get all this harness on Eve, and she's been so good, so patient. We're not even going to try to move today. But come on over here, Anielle. Anielle's never done this. It's been a while since I've done it. We're kind of making do with little bits and pieces of other tack, and I'm going to show you what it's all about. We put the saddle on, which is a surcingle, and then we put the breechin on, and that's what goes here around the hips. And you have to be really careful with livestock, both cows and horses, if they've never had breechin, because it can be a really scary feeling. Eve, fortunately, was not scared. She remembered how it feels. There are a lot of buckles. We adjusted the buckles so that the breechin goes about right here on between the hip and the thigh. And then we put the crupper on. And Eve is good about that too, but you want to make sure when you put the crupper on that the buckles of the crupper don't get caught to the hairs of the tail, because that can be ouchy and then they can be afraid. But Eve was good again. And then we felt a little bit uncomfortable without the breast collar, so we made do with some nylon surcingle pieces. I'm sure we have a breast collar somewhere. It's a leather one, and by next time we'll have found it and can show you. The breast collar is to keep the saddle from pulling back. Then a few sessions ago, I couldn't remember what these straps were for. I think they're called quarter straps. And now I remember that they go from the breechin down to a center ring here that's connected to the saddle on either side, so that the breechin can't fall off the hips, and so that the breechin stays centered on the hips. Then, because this is a very fancy collar, we had to remember to put the hames on. These are stainless steel hames, which come connected to the tug straps, and the tug straps eventually will be behind Eve, pulling on single trees and logs and stone boats, whatever it is we're going to be pulling. But for now, what we did was we connected the tug straps are connected here permanently. We went through large carabiners on either side of Eve, because these are really hefty tug straps, and back up to the a collar ring, which is really hefty, with the quick releases. All of this, wherever possible, quick releases. So today's part 2, first session, is just to show you how complicated it is, this harness equipment. When we put the collar on, we remembered that, we have something that connects to the center ring under the saddle to keep the collar centered. And so what are we trying to do here? We're trying to put all the tack on, quote, centered, balanced. Then, maybe next session, if we're ready, if we have enough people. I'm getting better each day, knock on wood. I'm Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl, that had that right hip replacement finally after a year and a half. And I'm getting more and more comfortable coming outside. It's been a month. And more comfortable even being around a horse, because remember, any horse is a prey animal, could get spooked. But I have the cane just in case I need a little balance, and I make sure that I stay out of strike zone and, if possible, out of spook zone. Now look at Eve. She's looking off that way. She sees something, hears something, but this is Eve. I trust Eve. I think she's going to be fine. Remember last time we had her blinders on with her bridle, and we did some ground driving. Next time, if we can get all of this tack on, like we did today, maybe find the proper breast collar, put the bridle on, and connect our drive lines, and drive Eve, ground drive Eve with the drive lines down the driveway. If my cameraman can look eastward again. We went down the driveway several times. She was great. She gave us stop when we asked for it. At first, not as good as after a couple times, but she got better. Then we went into the obstacles area with her. Because let's face it, if she's going to be a farming horse, she's going to be off of driveways. She's going to be on dirt. She's going to be pulling things in fields, planting things in fields. Because Eve is my #1 farming horse. So we got to get her off the driveway, but for training purposes, one small step at a time, on the driveway that's flat, not potholes. If we get good answers, off the driveway into the obstacles area where we cleared as much storm debris as we've had time to do. And then we're gonna not only drive her, but pull something. Can you go get that log? In part 1, I showed you the log that's really a good training tool. It's actually a branch that fell off the tree, and I said, oh, let's put some hardware in it because it's real. We can easily pull, we've pulled with my cows and with my horses, this log. It's kind of heavy because it's solid. We can pull this down the driveway and through the obstacles with appropriate singletree behind the pulling animal. So we're going to do that. And we very well may make this more than a 2-part series. We're going to take it one small step at a time. We're going to remind you and me and my staff, because most of my staff is new this year, what it's like to train a farming animal. And you know, if it takes years, that's the way it will be. We will continue to one small step at a time, first with Eve, and then maybe with her daughter Sadie, and then maybe Eve and Sadie together in pairs, make them farm pull animals and pull things that will help us plant our organic Timothy hay seed. We want to plant at first at least an acre of it. We've had 3 test sites so far in the last 3 years, and the Timothy seed does just fine here because we have good soil for it. It's very sandy soil, and we have videos and photos of it. Maybe next year, maybe 2015, maybe the end of this year, because planting of Timothy is best done in September. If we're ready, we can plant an acre of land here at Shadrach Farms with Timothy hay seed, using only our organic compost, using only organic herbicides and pesticides, which we get from arbico.com, arbico.com, and then we'll move on from there and plant as much as we can of Timothy, because it's hard to get around here, but I think it's a great feed. And that's all for today. Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl. Well, here's our next session with Eve. It's been 3 or 4 weeks, but we did get all the tack on, except that now Sam is putting on the blinders. We didn't put them on last time. And we were really confused about some things. Are you having trouble getting the blinders and the bridle on?
I'm getting there.
Okay. Okay, Sam, next time, I'm letting you guys know, whoever's viewing this video, all the things that, even though we watched the 10-minute video from the first session on this Urban Cowgirl show, we were still kind of confused when we came out here because there's so many straps. Luckily, Evie's being good. Sam has done this in the past, but here's a problem that Sam didn't know about, and I didn't think about till just now. She's got a lead line on this rope halter that is knotted rather than having hardware. And people use these kind of lead lines connected to their halters so that there's nothing going under the chin and causing discomfort to the horse. But then, if you want to take them off, you don't have anything to unclip. So depending upon what you intend to do, think ahead about what kind of halter and lead line you're going to use. Now, we've got everything on the way we did the first session. If we had to extend anything, we were going to use these clasps, double-sided clasps, maybe little lightweight chains or dog collars. But it turns out we didn't have to extend anything. And we're not ready. We know we're not ready. But maybe next time we're going to, after we ground drive her a little bit, have her pull a single tree when somebody holds it up off the ground, because it can be pretty freaky. Now, Eve has done all of this, but it's been a while, so we want to give her the benefit of relearning all these freaky things. Okay, so what you're going to have to do with this lead line is put it around her neck a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can't take it off easily.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, so think ahead about that. Some people consider those lead lines that clasp to the halter actually cruel. I don't. I think in some respects they're better to use in certain circumstances.
Easy. Hope. Back.
Okay.
Back. Back.
And we've got our drive lines out today, but I'm not sure we're going to actually even drive. I'm just giving you an idea. I told you in the first session, this could be a many multi-part series in urban cowgirl shows about getting horses ready for farming. Now you have a mistake there, Sam. Come on over here. And I keep trying to show Sam to find her own mistakes. Do you see where that lead line is on the top?
Yeah.
You don't want it pulling on her overcheck.
Okay.
So it's got to go under. Today and yesterday, the draft horses are at the American, which is a $1 million rodeo. And I heard just before I came out here, one of the draft horse trainers saying, we help each other, especially if we have problems in the arena. Everybody knows how hard it is to use all this tack. Everybody knows how different it is to drive a horse from the ground or from a cart or to pull something with a horse than it is riding on a horse's back with or without a saddle. So Sam has done this in the past, but you know, we all had to remember, you're looking good, but you know what, that lead line, if you can hold this,
yeah,
let it make a little bit of noise. It's all right. Now remember, I'm recuperating from a right hip replacement, but you know what? I'm feeling much better, but I'm also aware that I can't move as fast as I used to. It's all right. I'm going to just go around twice, and then you see what I'm going to do is make a knot here like we do when we tie to the tie post.
Okay.
A slip knot. There we go. Okay. Now we can get that down if we have to pretty quick. Okay. Let's take this. Sam, let me hold that. This is the signal tree. I'm just going to put it here against the fence. You go in front of the camera, and I'm going to show what we would do next if we have the time and the inclination. Go ahead, take her.
Okay.
With the lead line.
Step up.
And we're not, by the way, we're not bothering with a makeshift breast collar, because today it just doesn't seem like we need one.
Back. Get back.
But this is what we would use if we felt we needed one. On the last session we felt we needed one, and I can't remember.
So where do you want me to take her?
Okay, so I'm going to put this single tree up here. Get yourself some rafter hangers or hooks like this nearby, so everything can be hung up individually and you can grab what you have to grab. All right, I think that since we have the bridle on with the blinders, since Sam has done this in the past, we're going to put these drive lines on. Just leave that on.
I just want to make sure it was going to fall
and
out.
we're just going to see if we can walk her down the driveway. Remember, quick releases wherever possible. You see how this works. Can you zoom in? The little sleeve comes down, and then the hook goes in, and then the sleeve comes up. That's how you put it on. But if you're in trouble and need to release it quickly, the sleeve comes down, and for pressure alone, the hook will come disconnect. Okay, so I think Evie will be fine. We are going to put that on her bit. And these are long leather drive lines. They don't even go with this rig, but they're good. Okay, you stay in the front there. She's confused. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to come through these hooks. Yeah.
Just
you know, it's
right
been so
here?
long. Maybe, no, that's for the shafts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going to go through this. I think that's why that's there. We put all kinds of hardware on here last time we did some ground driving, which was a long, long time ago. So yeah, why did I have that hardware? I know, because these leather lines didn't go through this small ring very well. So we added a new ring that was bigger. Okay, now you hold this. You don't want a lot of straps hanging on the ground. Here's my other drive line. Turn Evie this way a little bit so that we can show better where we're putting the drive line. Good, good, that's good. Quick release, connection to the bit. It's all right. This could be a snake. It could be perceived as a snake, so be careful, depending upon the experience of your horse and you. Think ahead. How does the horse view the world right now? It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Okay, now I'm going to hold her here, and you come around, take that drive line, and come around and get this one. It's all right. And remember, I don't want to be pushed around by a horse. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. She tried to pull away just now. That's good. See if you can back her up with a give and take.
Back.
Loud.
Back. Back.
Good, good.
Back.
Whoa.
Ho. Ho.
Whoa. Okay. All right, now I do have a lunge whip or a driving whip, which is just to tap her, but I think we're not going to need it. It's in the cart shed. Next time we'll bring it out in case we need it.
Do you want me to try going a couple steps that way?
Yes, that's what I want.
Why don't you come over here so you're out of the horse range?
Yes, okay. I'm going to let loose, and we've got Derek here who, in case of trouble, will hopefully be able to control a spook.
Step up.
Good. If things are going well, whoops, stay behind her. Good.
There you go.
Good. Go a few steps and then
Ho.
Good.
Ho. Ho.
Good. Okay, back her up again. Backing is a real good focus gatherer.
Back. Back.
And yeah,
back.
She knows what the right answer
back.
is. Horses
back.
don't generally back up, by the way, in
Ho.
the wild.
Ho.
Whoa.
Ho.
Whoa. Okay, now, stand behind her. You're off to the side. You want to stay behind her. Okay, just hold her there for a minute.
Oh,
stay behind her.
Easy.
It's all right.
Easy.
It's all right. I am going to get a little driving whip here. Because let me tell you, when she was backing and turning, if you just touch her, she'll go away from this touch. It's not really a whip. It's just really an arm extension. Okay, so that you got to get used to holding that in your hand.
As well as the...
Okay, see if you can go down the driveway again, do a G or a haw turn, and come back.
Step
and be
up.
Loud, step up.
Step up.
Good, Eve. Now we're back here by my creek, so at any moment some kind of predator could come towards her. We always have to be ready for that. Do a G or a haw. G is right, haw's left.
Ha, G.
Very nice. Very nice. Come by this buggy. Don't touch it if you can help it, because she won't understand. It's like a little camera caddy. Okay, go back to the whoa, okay.
I was going to do another...
You want to do another round?
Okay.
Sure.
Left.
You always want to try to stop on a good note. When is the time to stop?
I was just thinking we could come up and turn right here so that way she's facing that way.
All right. So we feel that this is a good time to stop. Pirelli calls it our moment of resolution. And we will upload this second portion of this video. We will keep going session by session, although even though we're in a drought, we're expecting quite a few rainy days next week. So if we decide to work with E, we'll do it in my covered square pen. But we actually like working back here. We try not to change the location until we're sure the horse can handle the change in location. A horse can be perfect at home, and then you take them to an arena where there's a play day or a competition, and they can be a basket case because they look around a lot, even with blinders on. And so you've got to give them a lot of experience doing what you want them to do in a lot of different places. And that's what we do with our horses here, who are ranch versatile and who are going to be farming horses as well. And that's all for today. We think we've shown you what needs to be shown in the second session, and we'll keep showing you as we go. And be aware that Google now can find for you all my Urban Cowgirl shows. Just put in the search word Urban Cowgirl Show with spaces, and then add a word or two. Let's say you want to see what we've done with Eve and harness. So you go Eve space harness, or Eve space pulling, or Eve space farming, or Eve space stoneboat. And you'll find all the other shows. It's amazing how many they'll find. I'm so happy that Google is doing this now for me, that we've done on these topics. And it may be shows that were done 2 years ago, and we forget, and she forgets. So we use video to remind ourselves, to train each other, and to remember what is the next baby step that we want to take with our horses. Third day of spring, 2014. We just haven't had a chance. We haven't had enough helpers. We haven't had helpers on the days that the weather was good. Today it's misty, but not a problem. We are harnessing up Eve for the first time since the last time we videoed, and it must have been 3 weeks ago, wouldn't you say?
At least.
At least. And you know what? We kind of forgot where everything went. I know it'll eventually, just like it did a few years ago, it'll eventually be old hat. It's like putting on a Western saddle with the cinch. We think we've got it all correct now, and we've got the bridle on. And Sam wants to practice a little bit of ground driving again with Eve. After we turned off the camera last time, she said, let me practice a little more. We want to get really confident. We want Eve to get confident. And then maybe next time we'll hook up those tug straps. I'm going to go show you. It's all right, Eve. These tug straps, which are temporarily being stored up here out of the way of her legs, we'll pull them off of these rings, put them in the back, get our single tree out, have somebody hold the single tree as we ground drive down the driveway and back. And then, if she's being good, put the single tree down with somebody there so she hears it and feels it rubbing along the ground, one tiny baby step at a time, because we've done this with Eve. It's been so long that we feel we need to do it again, one tiny baby step at a time. Now,
Put the reins on.
Now you got to get the reins, right. Just kind of loosely tie it in there. We don't want her pulling back. Yeah, that's good enough. Good enough. She's not going to pull. I don't think, unless a critter shows up here. A bunny, a ground squirrel, even a lizard. They're very aware of those things because they all could be predators like snakes. So we always make sure we have enough people around and don't have straps hanging there. And I do have a Swiss Army knife in my shed behind me, just in case. Okay, now, careful now, you're pulling her head to you. You gotta be careful.
Actually, maybe I can.
Yeah, you can put it across her back. Okay. Let her know you're walking around her. We're giving you every baby step. Again, we're giving ourselves every baby step again. Everything has to be done carefully. Now, if I were you, I would put, you see those carabiners? Let me show you. I can't even remember if this is the way we did it, but I'll have to watch my video. I think we put them through here.
Okay.
So now you put that across her back. That's it. Walk around carefully. Now, I've been watching a lot of old westerns, and there were times where the people would be driving their horses and carts without britchin. And the britchin are so complicated and so potentially scary for horses, but, that I wish we didn't have to use britchin. But I kind of think there's a reason why people use it, and for some reason in those westerns they didn't use it. And I don't have anybody around here I can ask who's experienced in harness work. In some respects, I almost wish I lived with the Amish, as they still do their farming with their livestock, and I have this fantasy that I will be able to do that someday. Okay, so you're gonna, why don't you go behind, take the reins behind. I'm gonna go and unclip her lead line.
Okay.
And then you're gonna do G and Ha. Whoop, whoop. We don't want that lead line on because she's gonna feel pressures. You ready to,
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Just
when
to
it's off.
Refresh. G is left, Ha is right.
No, G is
Right.
right.
Ha is left.
Ha is left. So back her up first. Say back. A little
Back.
give and take. Back.
Back. Back.
Good. Good.
Back. Ho. Ho. Okay.
Okay, now you're gonna G.
G. G.
Okay, go forward. Stay behind her. Good. This is just a little ground driving practice. And those of you that are watching this video, you may want to do it too, but try to have a couple people there in case there's trouble. That's looking good. Make sure the first time you turn to the Ha or the G, you've got plenty of room. So I would go Ha. And stay behind her. Come back here. Give yourself plenty of room to go. Ha. Yes. Good. And try not to give any constant pressure. Just give and take. Go a little farther this time. Maybe past the roping steer. We're in my obstacles area and got a lot of obstacles here where you have plenty of room, and do another Ha turn. Then we'll interview Sam when she gets back here to see how it felt after all these weeks to do it again with Eve. Because last time when we let her practice a little bit off camera, she was feeling much better about it, more confident. Okay, when you get close to the camera, stop for a moment, close to the camera, and tell us, are you feeling confident? Is she feeling confident?
Ho.
Good.
Yeah, it seems pretty, she's not giving me a whole lot of trouble.
Okay, now this time when you go back to the other end, make it so that you can do a G turn. Make sure you have
Ho.
a lot of room to do a G turn, a right turn.
Ho. Ho.
Okay, you know what? I was going to get it for you, and I'm going to get it for you now. Hoer.
I don't think I can hold that while I'm holding these.
Oh,
Ho.
but you kind of need to. It's my cart whip as an arm extension. Whoa!
Ho.
Let me show you how you would do that.
Okay. I see.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Arm extension. Ha. Ha. She's pulling. Ha. Whoa. Whoa. Good. Now if she tries to back, I'm just going to touch her. Come get it. You know, I've had 2 good days with my legs today, yesterday and today. I'm feeling more confident. I did have that right hip replacement over 3 months ago. I am starting to ride my side saddle, but whoop, whoop, stay behind her. Stay behind her.
Ho.
Okay, now try to keep her feet moving in a direction, either forward, Ha, or G, that you're comfortable.
Ho.
Good.
Ho.
Not constant pressure with that arm extension, just a tap. Give and take. Okay, do a G turn.
G. G.
There's plenty of room. Good. Go down back to the east fence area and do another G turn. Nice, nice. We don't want Eve to get confused. If she's confused, she might get afraid. Okay, and there's Rusty, but she's used to hanging out with Rusty. He's my bull on the other side of the fence. Okay, hoe her.
Ho.
She kind of woke up with Rusty's roaring. He's hormonal today. Okay, she has her blinders on. She's trying to look back, but she can't see with her blinders. Come on up to the railroad tie here, and let's stop on a good note.
Step up.
Good, good.
Ho.
Good, good. And I'm going to put the lead line back on. And release these guys. Whoa. There we go.
Okay.
Come and release the other side. Yes, always try to keep the straps away. If she does get upset, make sure you can get things off. Now pull it forward.
Yeah, I'm pulling forward.
Through this big carabiner that I added to my harness, because these are pretty thick drive lines.
Here, I got it.
Okay. Okay, there we go. We have reviewed again the harness process with Firecrest Easter Eve, and now we're going to remove the tack. It took us probably 15-20 minutes to get the tack on. I'm gonna kind of watch you while you remove it. Think about reversing what you did. Think about not applying any pressure because you've forgotten to remove something else. Always think, if I pull this away, am I disconnected? And while Sam is doing that, I'm going to show you, he just walked away. My bull was right there at that fence line, and it was, yeah, and he's roaring. And Eve wanted to see. She knows the sound. She hangs out here at night, by the way. So the bull is nothing new to her, but with her blinder, she couldn't see him. She heard him. She probably smelled him, but she wanted to see him. But you know there's a reason to use blinders, because when you're pulling a cart or a farm implement, you don't want your horse or cow to get spooked by something they see if you can help it. There are so many ways to spook, by smell, by sound. In some respects, if they can just be confident in you, if they can't see it, that gives you less opportunity to have to deal with a spook. Okay, now she's removing the tug straps, which next time we hope to hook to a single tree and show you how that works. We kept them up out of the way this time. And those tug straps are permanently attached to the hames, which is on the collar, so we couldn't just disconnect them and hang them up. But we always try to keep straps like that out of the way in case Eve were to paw. We don't want her feet getting hung up in those straps or were to spook. Okay, now she's taking, yeah, you got to take the hames off first, right, Sam?
Right.
Okay, and this particular, don't take the collar off. I think,
I'm not taking the collar.
yeah, the collar does have a buckle, unlike my pair's harness. Now you're still attached underneath, and that's what I mean. Don't try to pull things away if you're still attached. There you go. I'm having Sam do this, and I'm showing it on video. I'm hoping we'll get harnessed up more quickly next time, but that's okay. We try never to be in a rush. There's no threat of rain today, although it certainly looks like we're having a weather change on this third day of spring. And we are expecting some rain in our seriously drought-ridden California next week. Today is Sunday. Okay, so Sam chose to, you know what, you can open the buckle on that one. Okay, all right, but we know Eve is good about taking it over her head. Is that the way you put it on?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because because the other ones, all the other ones don't have them.
They don't have buckles, that's right. So we got all, Eve and Sadie, used to getting it over their heads, which it's okay if you can do it without scaring them. Good. The buckle is kind of hard to buckle up again, so it's nice if they'll allow you to do that. Okay, now she's doing a slip knot again on her halter. And disconnecting. I think those are called quarter straps. Okay. Remember, this is the beginner, teaching the beginner. But okay, we just don't have anybody advanced around here who can help us. So with the help of Doc Hamill's DVDs, with the help of RFD TV, with the help of our experience from a couple of years ago, or at least my experience from a couple of years ago, we're kind of teaching Eve and us again how to do this with confidence, and one small step at a time. We will pull implements again using our single tree. And then what's next after that? By summertime, if I have a team big enough, we'll work on pairs driving and pairs pulling. But boy, does that require, to be safe, quite a team. 4 or 5 people at first. And I've seen RFD programs where farmers have said they gave up on trying to train in pairs because they didn't have enough helpers. And that's a big problem here in America. We just don't have enough Americans who want to work for farmers, and it's awfully hard to allow illegal aliens to work for farmers in this country, and we're trying to make some enabling laws to help farmers get helpers that they can afford. There we go. All right, and you can take her through her corral and then come back and put all the equipment away, which are hanging on the fences, on rafter hooks, and so forth. And Sam's going to do it so she knows where everything is when she's all done. Thank you, Sam. Do you have any comment? What should the beginner do to gain confidence?
I have a hard time staying behind her. You're
Yes.
remembering to stay behind her if she's turning really quick?
Yeah. She has a hard time to stay behind her. And you know, when I wasn't so nimble on my legs and I was trying to help in these last 3 months, I just had to remind people, stay behind, because you have to move fast.
Right.
Right, and it'll be old hat soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you let those drive lines go over her back and you're not behind her, you lose a certain amount of control that she's used to feeling with her bridle. Yeah, good point. Okay, that's all for today. Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl.
See more at www.urbancowgirlchannel.com.